Betrayal. It's a nasty thing, isn't it? And especially it hurts that much more when it comes from people that you knew, respected, and dare I say, even loved. Let's take a look at 10 comic book heroes that were betrayed by their own sidekicks. Oh god, this is going to be emotional. Number 10, Green Arrow, Speedy. Now, Green Arrow has never really had much luck with sidekicks, which was a trend that began with his very first protege, Roy Harper, aka Speedy. In DC's New 52 series of comics, it didn't take long for the hero life to take its toll on poor Roy. Instead of turning to the dark side in the traditional way, Speedy's story took a more realistic downfall. He turned to drink, something that Green Arrow does not handle well, and left him to abandon Roy, leaving him homeless and alone. This lack of support leads Speedy down an ever-darkening path, and in the pages of Red Hood and Arsenal, we discover this path led him to the nation of Kurak. There, Roy and his new team of the Iron Rule overthrew a dictator and made a nice profit in the process. However, Roy's new team were not really the heroic breed, and in a desperate bid for power, slaughtered hundreds of innocent people. It's at this point that Roy fully betrays the teaching of Green Arrow, because he launches a lethal explosion at his new team, making him not only partially responsible for the deaths of hundreds, but also the direct murder of his former allies. While this is something that Green Arrow would never stand for, the Emerald Archer did kind of bring this one on himself. Number 9, Nightwing, Robin. Being trained by an emotionally stunted billionaire in the art of combat probably isn't the greatest environment for a child to grow up in, and might be why so many Robins have trouble transitioning into adulthood. Luckily for Damian Wayne, though, he had Nightwing to help keep him from the darker side of being a hero. However, in the comics of Injustice, he wasn't quite so lucky. When Superman finally crosses the line into becoming a murderous tyrant, Damian Wayne finds himself a new role model in the Big Blue Murderer. This clash of ideologies reaches breaking point when Superman decides to eliminate the residents of Arkham Asylum. When Batman and Nightwing finally confront Superman, they are alarmed to find Robin fighting alongside him. Even more alarming was when Robin lashes out at Nightwing and breaks the neck of his former mentor. Number 8, ARETMIS, Nightwing, and Superboy, GEO-FORCE. Like Batman has Robin, the Justice League has The Team. In the world of Young Justice, The Team are a collection of young covert operatives comprised of sidekicks from various heroes. The earlier roster of The Team consisted of traditional sidekicks such as Robin, Kid Flash, and Aqualad. But as time went on, The Team brought in new heroes and began training them, technically making the new recruits the sidekicks of sidekicks. Weird. One of these sidekicks was known as GEO-FORCE. Arriving in Season 3, we found out that he was a banished prince who found a new home with the old heroes of The Team, even going so far as to help form a new group of them known as the Outsiders. When GEO-FORCE finally gets his chance to confront Baron Bedlam, the man who banished him from his home and tore his family apart, things take a dark turn. In front of his mentors, Nightwing, Superboy, and ARETMIS, GEO-FORCE breaks the cardinal rule of any hero. He kills Baron Bedlam and banishes his former mentors from his country, seizing control in a sudden coup. Number 7, Deadpool, Weasel. Now, Deadpool and Weasel have a layered relationship, but back in the early days of Deadpool, he was a little bit darker. And as his closest associate, Weasel suffered the brunt of that darkness, with Deadpool being both physically and mentally abusive to his supposed friend. Deadpool even went as far as locking Weasel in the box, a rather more pleasant way of saying a room where the walls and floors are covered with knives and spikes. Weasel endured this torture from Deadpool for years, mostly due to a fear of what would happen if he said no. While Weasel betrayed Deadpool a few times across their relationship, the most critical one came in the 2016 Spider-Man Deadpool crossover comic. After Deadpool tries to turn over a new leaf, Weasel decides that the world must see Deadpool for who he really is, an absolute monster, and manipulates him into killing his new best friend, Peter Parker. Number 6, Cole McGrath, ZEKE. So the world of Infamous is a little less capes and tights and more like superpowered gangs fighting for control. When Cole McGrath finds himself at the center of a massive explosion, he awakens with the power to control electricity. And with these powers comes the desire to be a superhero, or villain depending on how you play the game. But no matter which path Cole goes down, his loyal sidekick Zeke is right alongside him. Throughout the first game, the two unravel conspiracies dictated by a multitude of villainous characters, eventually coming face to face with Kessler, the man who detonated the race sphere and gave Cole his powers. Kessler plans on detonating the machine again, which would kill thousands and create another superpowered individual. After a hard-fought battle, Zeke finds himself holding the device with a chance to end things right then and there, but Zeke succumbs to his own selfish desires of power and activates the device. Number 5, Punisher, Microchip. For all his skills as a one-man war on crime, the Punisher isn't really known for his computer prowess. Luckily for him, that's where MICROCHIP comes in, and the two worked together and traveled the world hunting criminals for years. But good murder sprees never last, and eventually MICROCHIP became concerned about the Punisher's mental state. In The Punisher Volume 2, number 97, MICROCHIP locked Frank up and replaced him with a Navy SEAL, while he tried to bring his old pal back around to sanity. Of course, the Punisher broke free, and then he and MICROCHIP went from allies to enemies, with the two hatching plans to kill one another. But when it comes to murder, no one does it better than Frank Castle. Before long, MICROCHIP found himself the same as all of Frank's other enemies, very dead, and probably wishing that he never met the Punisher. Number 4. Captain America, the Winter Soldier. It's common knowledge that Captain America spent his early days punching Nazis for the good old US of A, but he didn't do that fight alone. His loyal sidekick Bucky Barnes fought alongside him across the world and against the Axis of Power in World War II, until the fateful day that Bucky died. However, comics being comics, Bucky didn't stay dead. He was found and captured by Russian operatives, who subsequently gave him a kick-ass metal arm and such a severe dose of brainwashing that Bucky no longer existed, and the Winter Soldier was born. In the absolute seminal run of Captain America in 2005, 60 years after the original Bucky fell, Cap came face to face with the man, or at least most of the man, that he used to know. And he and the now brainwashed Winter Soldier battled it out. It would come to pass that Bucky would regain his memories thanks to the Cosmic Cube, but not before the betrayal was already done. Number 3. Batman, Red Hood. Jason Todd has had a rough time as Robin. Alongside being expected to compete alongside Batman, poor old Jason had to fill in the big shoes left by Dick Grayson. Eventually, after a mixed run as the Boy Wonder, Jason found his life in the hands of the fans in 1988's Death of the Family arc. After being captured by the Joker, fans were given the opportunity to vote on the fate of Jason Todd, either voting for Batman to come back and save his protege, or to let the Joker brutally murder the world's most famous sidekick. Apparently, comic fans, well, they're a bit of a dark bunch, and they voted to have the Joker beat the child to death with a crowbar, albeit just by a narrow margin, but still, ouch. But as most heroes can attest, death for a named character is usually more of an inconvenience than a permanent problem, and in 2005, much like the Winter Soldier, Jason Todd returned with a new look and a new goal: to end crime in Gotham by killing all the criminals. Not only fighting the Batman himself, but breaking the Dark Knight's one rule. Number 2. Professor X, Cyclops. Professor Xavier and Cyclops didn't have a traditional hero-sidekick relationship, mostly due to Xavier's inability to fight alongside his young heroes. Still, Xavier adopted Scott as a child and introduced him to the life of a hero, making the betrayal sting all the same. During the events of Avengers vs. X-Men, Cyclops finds himself imbued with the cosmic power of the Phoenix Force. At first, Cyclops and his team used this power for good, tackling world hunger and creating a sustainable energy. But as Jean Grey can attest, while there is a Phoenix Force, there is always going to be a Dark Phoenix. When Scott inevitably succumbs to the Dark Phoenix, Xavier tries to stop him. It's then that Cyclops does the unthinkable and kills his former mentor, setting Cyclops down a dark path that he never really fully recovers from. And number 1, Hulk, MIEK. Between being constantly hunted and being attacked by heroes and villains alike, the Hulk doesn't really have much luck with friends. Due to this, the Green Giant spends most of his time just trying to be left alone, and the heroes can't even let him do that peacefully. In the Planet Hulk event, Doctor Strange, Black Bolt, Tony Stark, and Reed Richards launched the Hulk into space in an attempt to protect the Earth from his rage once and for all. This betrayal leads the Hulk to fight his way across a hostile alien planet and making new monstrous friends along the way. One of these new allies is MIEK, who fans might remember as the small bug creature who accompanies the rock-skinned Korg in Thor Ragnarok. But comic MIEK, however, is a little different from his MCU counterpart, and after being saved by the Hulk in a gladiatorial arena, MIEK decides that he would follow the Worldbreaker to the ends of the Earth. After the Hulk liberates Sakaar and establishes peace, MIEK decides that peaceful life isn't for them. He detonates a massive bomb and destroys the planet, killing millions and the Hulk's trust in one big boom. And there we go, my friends. Those were 10 comic book heroes who were betrayed by their own sidekicks. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. If you want to chat to me further, you can do so over on Twitter at RetroJ with a 0, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice. It's my personal gaming channel, and it'd be great to see you over there. Hope you have a great day, whatever you get up to, my friends. Take care of yourself and treat yourself with love and respect, because you bloody well deserve it. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.